F-35R Shadow, sensor fusion-focused multirole. When we talk about the future of air combat, the conversation no longer centers only on speed or firepower. Today's defining debate is about how information, connectivity, and decision-making have become the principal weapons on the battlefield. The F-35R Shadow, conceived as an American, sensor fusion-focused multi-role fighter, embodies that shift. It isn't just another aircraft, it's a mobile, networked combat node. This essay examines Shadow's guiding philosophy, its design and technologies, its military utility, and the responsibilities and risks tied to such a system. At its core, Shadow pursues a single objective: information dominance. Where traditional airpower prioritized kinetic punch, speed, and maneuver, Shadow prioritizes the party that sees first, understands first, and acts first. That approach naturally suits a nation like America, whose technological and industrial base can integrate sensors, software, and platforms across coalitions. The idea is to make Shadow a central piece in Allied force multiplying architectures. Physically, Shadow mixes modern materials with active stealth. The airframe combines lightweight advanced composites, ceramic matrix components, and selective metallic reinforcements to balance strength, agility, and internal capacity. Metamaterials and radar-absorbent materials, RAM, on the surface suppress or scatter radar returns in targeted frequency bands. But Shadow's real innovation is its active adaptive skin, a software-driven layer that adjusts radar, infrared, and electromagnetic signatures in real time to deceive or blunt enemy sensors. In other words, Shadow doesn't just hide, it actively manages how it appears to adversary sensors. Stealth becomes a behavior, not only a property of materials. Propulsion is the platform's heart. Imagine adaptive cycle engines with hybrid electric assist that reconfigure themselves to mission needs, fuel-efficient supercruise for long endurance, and an instant sprint mode capable of Mach 2+ bursts when the tactical situation demands it. Integrated thrust management software continuously monitors thermal and acoustic signatures and fuel economy, selecting the optimal performance profile so Shadow remains both effective and hard to detect. The most distinctive capability, however, is sensor fusion. Shadow brings together multi-band AESA radar, advanced IRST, distributed aperture cameras, passive RF ESM suites, and even early quantum-assisted passive sensors into a single, edge AI-driven neuromorphic compute layer. Those sensors are fused, no longer discrete feeds, but one contextual, actionable battlefield picture delivered to the pilot. That picture does more than inform. It prioritizes threats, recommends optimal engagement geometry, and cues networked assets. The pilot sees the distilled decision space rather than a flood of raw telemetry. Weapons follow the same philosophy. Most ordnance is carried internally to preserve low observability. Configurable bays can house medium-range active radar missiles, short-range IR seekers, precision loitering munitions, and modular mission pods. External hardpoints remain available when commanders choose to trade stealth for range or payload. On the defensive side, Shadow integrates jammers, dark EM, chaff flares, and directed energy defensive modules, capable of neutralizing close-in threats such as inbound drones or missiles. Perhaps the most revolutionary element is manned-unmanned teaming. A single Shadow functions as a force multiplier. It can control swarms of ISR drones, loitering munitions, and autonomous escorts to massively expand area coverage and tactical options. Picture a single pilot supervising dozens of small systems that scout, persist on station, or prosecute targets. An adversary no longer confronts a lone jet but an orchestrated, networked combat cloud. Communications and networking are built to match. Quantum-resistant encryption, resilient mesh networking, burst high-bandwidth routes, and low-latency synchronization aim to keep sensor-to-shooter loops under 100 milliseconds. Over the air, OTA updates and modular compute pods make Shadow software-defined. New ML models, sensor algorithms, or mission packages can be fielded without replacing airframes. That software-first lifecycle is what keeps Shadow relevant across multiple capability generations. All this capability comes with real challenges: emerging passive sensor grids, advanced IR arrays, and potential quantum sensing threaten stealth advantages. Complex electronics, OTA delivery, and global supply chains increase cyber and logistical vulnerability. Robust cyber hardening, hardware roots of trust, and supply chain diversification are essential mitigations. There's also the thorny issue of autonomy and ethics. When lethal force can be suggested or executed by onboard AI within pre-authorized envelopes, clear doctrine, legal frameworks, and human-in-the-loop safeguards are mandatory. Those policy debates about when humans must sign off and how accountability is preserved will be central as the United States fields such systems. In operational terms, Shadow is versatile. In contested A2/AD environments, it conducts stealth-first ingress to identify and neutralize critical emitters. As a carrier strike escort, it leverages drone feeds for broad-area coverage. For quick reaction alerts, it scrambles to intercept incoming threats in minutes. And in persistent ISR roles, it delivers long-duration passive sensing and streaming intelligence. In coalition operations, Shadow's fused picture becomes a shared common operating picture, making it a central node for joint force synchronization. Practical elements further enhance the concept. Built-in prognostics and health management (PHM), autonomous spares distribution and integrated training tools, advanced simulators and AI-assisted pilot training reduce downtime and accelerate readiness. Test regimes, from live flight trials to digital twins and continuous modeling, will validate tactics, techniques, and procedures before operational deployment. Export policy, interoperability standards, and allied training pipelines will shape Shadow's real-world impact as much as its tech. In short, the F-35R Shadow is a technically credible conceptual platform that reframes air warfare around information and integration rather than single-parameter performance metrics. Its strength lies not in any single component, but in the orchestration of propulsion, active stealth, sensor fusion, AI, integrated weapons, and manned-unmanned teaming into one coherent combat system. When America elects to invest in and operationalize such designs, platforms like Shadow would not only change the conduct of aerial engagements, they would reshape defense policy, international law discussions, and the ethics of combat. Shadow is therefore more than a plane on the horizon. It's a signal of how the next era of air superiority might be imagined, and the responsibilities that will come with it.